We're going to do covering a card. Now you need to begin with a card, so you can do that one of two ways. You can either take cardstock, cut it to size, score it and fold it, and then make your envelope. Or you can buy blank cards. Now these cards already have envelopes that fit, and the ones that we use are 5 by 6.5. So that's what I'm going to use to cover a card. Now, when you have a blank card, if it comes flat like this, you have a decision to make. There is a score line down the middle, and you can either fold that with the bump. There's a little bump on here on the inside, or you can have the bump on the outside. So while it may seem counterintuitive, you do want the bump on the inside. And what happens when you score is that you're breaking down the fibers of the paper, and you want to do that to get a very crisp, clean fold like I just got here. So this one had been pre-scored. I folded it with the little bump on the inside, and then I used my bone folder just to make that a very crisp, clean fold. Now I'm ready to cover it. Now, what am I going to use? Well, I've got choices, lots of choices in crafting. Now, the first choice I have is paper that's made for card making. Now, these come in books like this. This happens to be Earth's Palette. Oh, there's Icy Rainbow and Jewel and all other types of themes. What I like about this is that it's oversized, so I'm going to have plenty of paper, and I can use the extra for the inside of my card or for the envelope. What I also like is that kind of as a treasure chest. It's got vellum. It has some glassine envelopes, which are just kind of a nice addition. This particular one has some parchment. In addition to the papers, there is art. Now, the art is perfectly sized for cards. This is giving me borders, it's giving me tags. Some pieces of art have words on them, and these are printed on one side because, of course, I'm going to be cutting these out and putting them on my cards. And then as I get into the papers, what you can see is that they're coordinated. And what I like about that is that I have something for the front and a coordinated paper for the inside, or both for the front and the inside, just however I want to play that game. But what I like is that they're all sized for cards and they coordinate beautifully. Now this is Earth's Palette, so I'm getting some of the blues, the purples. As I get further in here, I'm going to get golds and probably some browns, I would imagine. And then this also gives me some glimmer paper, which is just a really pretty extra bonus. Now, that's one option. Even though 12 by 12 papers might say scrapbooking, don't let that fool you, because you can do some wonderful cards with scrapbooking papers. Now this paper pack I like because it gives me, again, coordinated papers, and they're just really pretty. And so that gives me a nice bonus. But what I also have is some tags and art that also give me extra artwork. So that's another addition. The other option that I have are paper packs. Now they're similar to the paper pads and books, except they're a smaller offering of papers. In this case, it's Vintage Roses, which we absolutely love around here. And it's going to give me a card idea, which I really like. And inside there are 12 sheets of paper. There are 6 designs and then 2 of each one. And so this is going to give you yet another option. Now, let me show you how to cover a card, and then I'll give you an idea what to do with papers like this that have such a bold design on them. I'm going to pull this red one out because that's going to show really nicely. And I'm going to set about covering my card. Now I have my folded card as you saw before. And I'm a glue stick gal, so that's what I'm going to use. Now cards really get handled, especially along the edges. So I'm going to be careful to be sure to put my glue all around the edge on all 4 sides. I'm just going to make an X in the middle. I don't need to cover it completely with glue because that's not really necessary. Now the next step is to take my paper, and if I had a pattern on it, I would want to arrange that however I wanted it on my card. One thing about card making, you always want to know where your fold is. Why, you might ask? Because otherwise you get a surprise every now and again when you have a card that doesn't quite open properly. Might be upside down. Now I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to place it along the fold and also along the top part. And I'm going to press it down just like that. Then I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut right along the edge of my card. Now I don't need to draw a line because the scissors will actually be held in place by the edge of my card. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Now, every now and again, I'll see someone who will want to cut their paper to fit the front of their card, cut that paper separately, and then want to glue it onto your card. Well, I have trouble with that because when you put glue on any surface, or if you put it on your paper, then when you go to maneuver it, it's really hard to make it match perfectly. So by putting the glue on my card, then positioning my paper and then trimming it to fit, it always works, and I like things that do that. Now, I promised you something about a 12 by 12, so let me take out this sheet of paper, which I think you'll agree is gorgeous, and let's talk about how we can get 4 cards out of that sheet of paper. Now, I'm going to turn it like this, and here we go. Now, I can take one card and I can put it right here. So that's my first card. My second card, I can go right here. My third card is right here. Whoops, like this. And my fourth card is right here. I have 4 cards out of one sheet of 12 by 12. Now let me bring those cards to you just so that you can see them. Now this card I can place horizontally like this. You know, I can also have it vertically, and I think it does a really nice job. Same thing with this one. I think it's just beautiful. Now my third one has a little less on it, but you know what's nice about that? It gives me a great big space where I can put, a tag or a label or a flower and my greeting. And then my fourth card still has some really nice things going on. And again, I've got some space for adding more embellishments to it. So there you go, 4 cards, 4 beautiful cards out of one sheet of 12 by 12. So don't let those scrapbookers keep that 12 by 12 paper away from you.